Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all and a happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and you're ready to kickstart your week. You are with me, Maha Mukhtoom, on World This Morning, and we have a wonderful show lined up for you today. We've been joined by a wonderful guest, and I remember she was one of the first people I interviewed on one of my first outings in Pakistan a couple of years back at the fashion show in Islamabad. But I just wanted to catch up with the weekend. I had a really good weekend. I went to D12 this weekend. There's a lot of people doing a lot of good work, Feed the World, and now also Teaching the World, and they go there every Saturday. So if anyone who wants to get involved, please do, because it's actually, just they are one-on-one with the kids. They're giving them education, they're giving them food, and they're trying to provide them with opportunities so that these kids can actually make something of their lives later on. And then on Sunday with the Muhammad Ali Said Foundation, we went to a girls' orphanage, and some of them for the first time had their medical checks and everything, and we spent time with them. And it's really good to get out there and see what people are going through, what the struggles are. But yet, despite all of that, they are really happy, well-adjusted, polite kids, and it was a wonderful experience. And then, the rest of the weekend was really nice. I saw family and friends, and that's very important. But throughout the whole time, I was thinking about, especially about females, about, within the society. I know Shahzad normally has issues, me talking about this, but it is a problem in Pakistan because there is a disparity between the two. The opportunities for women, getting out there, strong, independent women who are actually making a name out for themselves. You can probably count a few, just on your two hands. But there are some people who've been working relentlessly to forward themselves, to promote. I don't want to use the word empowered because I think empowerment is a bit too much now. But I think that to show that women can go out there and be strong and do something with their lives. And there's one lady in particular, she has done a lot for Pakistan. She's a great ambassador, she is empowered, she's stable, she's doing really well. And one thing, I've never heard anything negative about this this incredibly talented person. And I'm going to introduce her because we've got so much to talk about. But we have been joined by one of the biggest supermodels of Pakistan. She's also an actress. She has done hosting. She is an entrepreneur. She wears many hats. She also is a dentist as well by profession. And she's done so much within the industry and for all the women out there who are now in the fashion world. And it is none other than Nadia Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Not at all. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
And it's been a great introduction. Thank you.
Oh, thank God. Okay, besides Nadia Hussain, we have been joined by someone who's really wonderful, and I have worked with him a little bit before. I met him at my friend's dance practices, and he was always very encouraging. We have been joined by he won the Best RJ Award of Islamabad, and he's doing a great job. He's got his own show on FM 92.4. It is the Zebi show, so for all those who know it, it's Humayun Zeb. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome, and I'm really overwhelmed that I have been joined with Nadia. Is one of my favorite.
Yes,
She's
I know.
One of my favorite.
Same. Okay, so I'm going to start the conversation with Nadia. Sorry, Humayun, you're going to have to wait a little bit.
Totally. I'm here to praise her today.
Okay, great. Okay, so I would like to start from the beginning of your journey, if that's okay. But what drove you to become a model within Pakistan?
Actually, it was nothing. I mean, I had finished my A-levels, and after that, I had free time. So there was a friend of mine who had started working in an advertising agency. Then there was a family friend of ours who's a designer. So a couple of things came my way regarding modeling. So I said, okay, fine, let me just do it. And till the time that I have my college that was starting. So I did that, and then it just kind of went on and on and on. And I didn't even realize that this would kind of go on, because it was really never something that I thought that I will do forever, because definitely for me, I was studying to be a dentist, and I was doing my dentistry and my modeling at the same time. But I mean, and after that, I even, like, when I was in my final year, I got married, and soon after I had a baby as well. So I thought, okay, maybe at some point, okay, whatever, I'll start my dental, and automatically the modeling will perhaps take a back seat, but that actually didn't happen. I mean, it happened the other way around. The dentistry took a back seat, and the modeling really, continued.
Great.
So yeah, that's how it was.
That's wonderful. So how did everyone around you react? Because you were doing dentistry, but modeling was meant to be, side hobby maybe.
Yeah.
But that also took the back seat. So how did your family, how did your husband react to this?
Nothing actually. I mean, like when I had started modeling, my mother, of course, had reservations, quite a few. But at that point, my father was the one who used to say, who used to kind of encourage, not just, not just necessarily modeling, but he used to encourage that, okay, let her do something that, she's earning money. So at that, my mother kind of unwillingly agreed, and she used to accompany me to a lot of these fashion shows and all. But after about 2-3 months of accompanying me, she kind of realized that it's okay. I think the environment is okay, and I was amongst the right people. So that's when she said, okay, I think that she's anyway going to start her dental, so automatically I think this is going to finish.
Okay.
So that's what she had.
It's a phase. It's a phase.
Yeah, it's a phase, exactly. That's what she had at the back of her mind, and I also didn't take it too seriously. I used to, of course, my focus was education. And for me then, at times I used to, of course I used to miss out on a lot of shows because of my constant exams. But there were times when if I was free, I used to attend college, I used to take a flight in the afternoon, come to Lahore or Islamabad, do a fashion show. And in those days there used to be these really late night flights, like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. So I used to actually take the 3 p.m. flight, and I used to land in Lahore or Islamabad. I used to just get into my, show mode. Okay, fine, get the makeup done, just do like one quick rehearsal. And I used to do the show, and I used to come back at late night, and I used to attend college the next day.
Oh, wow.
So it used to be like, for me, at times I used to feel that taking a flight for me is like taking a bus.
Okay, that's nice. Okay, so that's wonderful, because that whole working at that time while studying, that's still a concept we're trying to promote on our show as well for the youth of today. But that's also one of the questions further down the line about your parents, how they reacted. Now, so you had a really good balance from the looks of it, but the environment you were in, you were around the right people. How did you manage to actually fall into the right people? Because, the industry is quite difficult to associate. There's some dangerous people out there, or people who aren't
Actually,
the best.
at the time that I started, it was there were very few people in the industry, and you knew them, you knew who they were. So somehow I just ended up working with them only.
Okay.
And since there were very few people, so because there were such few people, you knew who they were, and if you were working with them, you knew that okay, you're in okay hands.
Okay.
So I think that is what basically led me to continue working, because I mean, there used to be all these shows that used to happen, but I mean, I had never felt that, okay, I'm in a weird situation here, or, this is not right or anything. But of course, in every field I feel, be it banking, be it airline, be it, I mean, whatever, there all different fields that there are things that are happening everywhere. So it has to be your own self as well, you know, so.
Okay, so that's I think where the personality comes into it quite a lot. Because how did you manage to stay well, I'm doing my education, but I would like to do modeling. How did you manage to keep your feet on the ground? Because your success was pretty fast and, very instantaneous. So how did you manage to, I'm still going to college, I'm a normal, I'm a normal kid, but I do this on the side. How did you balance that?
Because like I said, it wasn't something that I was focusing on. Okay. So if the success had come, or if I'd made my name, I used to feel okay. I mean, even when I got married, because I got married 4 years into my career, and at that time I was very much at the peak, and there was so much more to do, and people used to say, oh my God, are you crazy? You're getting married right now? Your career will finish, nothing, you're just out and you're just going to be forgotten. And I used to say, okay, I mean, it was a love marriage, so I thought, okay, I wanted to get married. So I said, okay, I mean, even if let's see what will happen. So I never really kind of, gave that kind of importance to this, that my career will finish, oh my God, what will happen? Okay. So I used to say, okay, I mean, education was important to me. When I had met my husband, I had wanted to get married to him. So I said, okay, and I was of the right age as well. I was around 24, 25 years old. So I said, okay, I used to think a lot about it, that if not now, then I guess when. So then I kind of decided, okay, I think now's the time.
Okay.
So
that's great.
so
4
yeah,
kids
that's
later,
what it was. Yeah.
4 kids later, brilliant career, still growing,
Yeah.
mashallah. Okay, let's bring in the children into this. How did you? Okay, so you did the whole studying dentistry, then modeling and flying back and forth. Then you got married. So that's another mix, another whole like equation in
Yeah.
itself,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the family as well, extended
Yes.
family, with your career and everything else, and then you had children. So how did you do it all? Because even talking about it, I'm like, I have a job right now and I get overwhelmed.
Actually, at that time when I gotten married, my husband used to tell me that if you want to continue, and actually I used to tell my husband that you can't stop me from working, because that was like from day one. I had said that if you want me to, because of course, my mother-in-law had known who I was, and I was introduced like that by my husband only. I was introduced like that when I hadn't even met her. I mean, when he had told her who I was and that he wanted to get married to me, he had said that she is studying to be a dentist, but she also does modeling. So of course they knew what I was doing. It wasn't anything hidden.
Okay.
So I had told him that if I have to stop working or anything, it has to be my decision and not forced upon me. So I said, you better be very clear about that. And this I told him before marriage as well. I said, I mean, if my parents didn't stop me, then I really don't think that you are any worth it, for you to tell me that that I need to stop.
That's wonderful.
So I mean, that was something that I had already told him. So I guess but he told me instead, he said, okay, if you want to continue working, and if my parents create any issues, then you deal with it yourself.
Oh wow, your husband seems really cool.
So I said, okay. I mean, now I have taken him on one case, and he's put me, in fact, in deep water. So I said, okay, I'll do that. But initially I didn't even do that much of work because I was still finishing my final year in my dental college. And then I started my house job as well. Soon after I got married, I started my house job. So during that time, there wasn't too much that I could do work-wise. But if there was anything that I was doing, then at times initially I did kind of make up stories about it, that, oh, I'm going to a friend's house, or I'm going to this and this place, or I'm going to this and this place.
Okay.
And ended up staying out the whole day or whatever. So at times my in-laws used to get a bit suspicious. So then I started actually telling them, okay, now there's a shoot happening, I'm going there. Then I started kind of telling them a bit more. But then I started expecting within the first 3 months of my marriage.
Okay.
So that was something that just kind of, I think, eased out everything. Because then they said, acha, now she's pregnant, now she's going to automatically stop working. So they said, acha, ठीक है, करने दो उसको जो करना है, let her get her her passion out and let it just all. But then she's gotten pregnant, so she'll stop working. But it didn't happen.
No.
Actually.
Permanent phase.
No, mashallah, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to, we'll have a little bit of a pause there, and then I'm going to bring Humayun into the conversation. Humayun.
Oh, I was ready with my
I
popcorn
know,
and
right?
everything.
Yeah, it's really
I was
interesting.
positive. Yes, I was like, wow, it's
Because
good.
you worked together.
Yes,
you worked
we
at this
worked.
fashion show.
Yeah, actually, we were not working together, actually, more apparently,
we were
but
backstage together.
Yeah, and what happened is, I really want to share is, I was sitting like 3-4 seats across her, and I was telling one of my friend that, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. I've seen her on television. She's so pretty. That was the first time, I guess, I saw you live. So I was like, oh my god, I'm mesmerized. She's so pretty. So I guess she heard that, and after, she was so humble, and I was sitting next to her, and then she said, "Hi, hello, how are you?" I said, like, she talks, she can talk, and then we had a proper conversation. I keep telling her that you're very pretty, and she was like, "Okay, bas kar do."
Yes, just stop now.
But yeah, she is very humble. I've never found people really humble, because I'm just from the same industry,
Exactly.
probably. So I have met a lot of people, celebrities more specifically. So
How is it? Because you know, you have come into the media world, and you know, we just talked about Nadia's like rise and the way she balanced it. But you're more focused on getting into the industry and doing stuff, because you've got your show, the Zebi show, which is fantastic. Peak Fridays and Mondays, peak
Yeah.
time. So how's that going? How did you get into that?
All right. Right now, which is my period, I guess it's right after A-level. She had it. This is a struggling period I have. I guess her struggling period was not as difficult as I think mine is, because I have started with radio. I didn't have links at all. Maybe she didn't have it at all, right? You didn't know anybody in the industry, but I don't know anybody in the industry. So I wanted to start with, and Alhamdulillah, I was lucky enough that I got into radio. And moving on to radio now, I am about to work for a play. So it's a stage play, but I'm really excited, because that's how I guess I can climb over whatever I want to do. And my struggling period I guess is very difficult. For me, it's very difficult, because for a male identity, you just have to, like, your parents tell them to, like, we have to earn, because we're the earners, right? So I was thinking, if I'll be doing this radio, so how will I earn? But alhamdulillah, I'm the only son of my parents, so I guess that's the competitive edge I have. So
Okay.
yes,
Okay,
so I
interesting.
started with radio, and yeah.
And now you're going to, well, the thing is, the theatre is really picking up in Islamabad as well, which I've realized, like Karachi and Lahore, but we are slowly getting that, and it's great that you're doing that. But I want to ask you, you know, the struggle that everyone faces, I mean, as a male, it's different, as a female, it's different. From what you've told us so far, you've had a very supportive husband and father. So having that male support, how important do you think it is within this country to have that? Do you think it's possible without it?
Yeah, definitely. I think for working women, that's what I tell generally everybody around me, because now that I've started my salon, I only have women working for me, and so I look at their lives, and I know that, of course, without their husband's support, they wouldn't really be able to work, because it is it's not a tough job, but it ends up being at times long hours at work, and so without their support, it's not possible. And then, but these women end up earning good money as well. So I think it has to be something that the decision has to be made. But whenever I see successful working women, I of course, in this country, it has to be with the support of somebody around you. So if it's the father, it's like there is nothing stopping you then.
Yeah.
And then eventually, if it's your husband, again, there is nothing stopping you from success.
So what about all the ladies who may not have that kind of support but want to get into the industry? What advice would you try to give to them? It's quite a tough question, that one, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can think about that one, and we can come back to it. But now I want to also move on to your salon that you have started, because, you know, in Pakistan, as you've obviously seen during your career as well, there's been, the concept of beauty has been ever evolving. And we're at this stage where I personally feel, I may be wrong, please correct me if I am, that we're in a very confused state on whether to kind of accept the more Eastern or kind of try and merge it with the West, the kind of perceived notion of beauty. How do you work within that? Because, you know, you have a designer or a photographer who wants a certain look based on certain influences, but you are a certain way because you're from Pakistan. So how did you balance that concept of beauty?
Well, no, I mean, if you're talking regarding shoots, that how do we work around shoots where, you know, the designer wants a certain concept of beauty or whatever it is, that's got that's actually got nothing to do with makeup or with beauty, because a lot of times the clothes are going to be absolutely gorgeous and you know, very, very beautiful, but the styling will be completely not beautiful. It's going to be very, you know, like kind of grunge and very goth kind of looks, and so it doesn't suit that kind of look for as far as the clothes are concerned. But that's the designer's perception, whatever he has of the shoot, and that's how he's going to do it. So, but how the concept of beauty within our society,
Yeah.
within the people, within the women, you know, that is definitely something that I think that has remained for a while, and I don't think it'll ever go away, is that, you know, that if you're fair, only then are you beautiful. And I mean, I think this is where there are stories like Snow White, and there are stories like all those where, you know, the witch is like saying, oh, who's the fairest of them all. I think it really gives, like, that kind of thing just gets embedded. Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, because as a model, you know, your face is being projected. You know, you're also an actress as well. So people are seeing these people in the media. It's like you said, the designers have a certain idea, but certain images, a certain look is being reinforced through the media. So with your salon, with your concept of beauty, because you're also a makeup artist as well, how do you, when ladies come to you and they say, oh, I want to look like this, I want to look like that, what do you say?
I mean, I tell them that it's really not possible, but especially regarding their skin color. I mean, if the skin color is whatever color that they are, and especially if they're a bit on the olive side or a bit on the darker side, and they,
right? That's the Urdu word.
yeah, the sound, yeah. So if they're actually that kind of complexion, but you know, they all want to just look fair, and I tell them that it's I mean, I'll try, because yes, I try and make your skin tone even, and try and give you a bit of that glow, but I can't, just with foundation, I can't make you look, you know, that you're 100 times fairer.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, with makeup we can not transform, we can enhance some features so that those features look nice, they look pretty, where if you have small eyes, we can make them into bigger eyes, and if you have small lips, we can make them bigger, if we can contour. There's a lot that you can do with makeup, but I mean, I can't make you look from Rajnikant to Aishwarya Rai, you know. I mean, I can't do that. I
No.
mean, so
And no, we shouldn't have to either, because, you know, I'm sure everyone's beautiful in their own way, but we have to highlight that. Anyway, we're going for a short break, and when you come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Nadia and Hussain. Stay tuned.
Situated in the heart of the South Asian subcontinent, Pakistan was the site for one of the world's most earliest human settlements. The Indus Valley civilization was filled with different cultures, religions, and political empires. This fascinating heritage is one of the many reasons tourists visit Pakistan, but it is certainly not the only one. Exciting adventure attractions, varied and plentiful animal life, historical ruins and monuments. All 4 seasons nature has to offer, and beautiful scenery are just a few of the many reasons to visit Pakistan. The hospitable people of Pakistan welcome all visitors with open arms and warm hearts.
back, everyone. And before the break, for all those who have just joined us, we have been joined by the supermodel and amazing individual, Nadia Hussain. And besides that, we've been joined by Humayun Zeb, who is working on 92.4 FM.
Yes.
So thank you guys once again. And before the break, we were talking about Nadia's journey into modeling, into the industry. We've talked about the society pressures. We've talked about work-life balance. So now we're going to talk more about, how she balances the children and a little bit more about her kids as well, because, being the children of a, superstar must be very interesting. But out of your children, are any of them, you've got 4. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
2 boys, 2 girls?
Yeah.
Good research, huh?
Yes, I do know.
Good research.
And so, are any of them inclined to go into the media?
No, I really don't think right now, because they're quite young actually. Okay. My eldest one is 11 and a half, and my younger one daughter, she's 9. Okay. And then I have a 4-year-old, and then I have a 1.5-year-old. So they're just too young, I think. And right now, even my older daughter, I would say, she's not at all. I mean, at times people will ask her, "Oh, do you want to become famous like your mama or something?" So then she's like, "I want to be an artist." So
okay,
I'm like, okay, if she's an artist, then she can surely, run my business for me, because that's what it's meant to be, to be good at your aesthetics.
Exactly, wonderful. So she is inclined towards the creative field then. Because
that's what she says,
though.
Yeah. But I mean, then it keeps changing.
Okay.
One day she wants to be a doctor, one day she wants to be God knows what, and so it keeps changing.
How about your sons? Like the eldest son, is he an entertainer himself, or is he much a bookworm?
No. He's quite an entertainer, but he likes to do it off camera. So this is what it used to be when he was younger, that they used to sit and do a lot of puppet shows. But so it was all like they used to record all these things on the iPad, but they never used to show their faces. So I used to say that why? And and in school there's a lot of theater that happens as well. So I keep pushing them that you have to audition properly, but they will never audition properly. They will always, kind of like do it in such a offish manner that they are not selected in the gooder, in the nicer roles. Okay. And then I tell them, I'm like, and then they're complaining later on, oh, I got only this role. So I'm like, it's your fault. Okay. I mean, you have to, I keep telling them, I said, when you start doing theater, you will realize that, that you end up gaining so much confidence that, it's really tremendous. But right now, there is no interest.
They're just kids. They're kids being kids.
Yeah.
But do you see who do you feel like has your streak in you? Maybe you're kind of, because you're very driven. You're very, you have vision, and you've, from a very young age, so you have focus. Focus is the right word. So do you see that in any of your kids, that, okay, she's more like me, or he's more like my husband?
No, like I said, I mean, right now they're too young, so I can't say that. There's a lot of passion to earn money, but that's just about it.
So your husband works in banking, if I'm not mistaken.
He's in finance.
Finance.
Yes.
So that's to do with money. So that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just moving back onto the social aspect of the whole modeling industry, because I've always wanted to ask this, because I've worked in the industry just a very short time, but I've seen that whole obsession of, I've talked about the looks thing, but about the weight situation, because this is an issue that's going on across the world. France has banned certain size models because it's not healthy. In America, we push towards a certain kind of image because the clothes look better. But in Pakistan, what is it like for the models? Is there a lot of pressure to look and be a certain weight, a certain height?
No.
Okay, great.
Because there are a lot of girls who are, I mean, I wouldn't say anybody is fat, but there are girls who are a little bit bulky and they're still modeling. And even when I can't really compare myself to them, but because by that time that I had gotten pregnant and I was even in my 6th month onwards, even though I wasn't showing that much, but I was still kind of forced to do shows that, okay, it doesn't matter. I used to say, look at my face, it's looking so big and I'm big all over. They used to say, no, it's fine, like you have to do it, because they used to say that, no, we still want your face value. Okay. So I said, okay, but generally, nobody really, you know, I mean, if you want to get into modeling, you can't be fat or you can't be bulky. You have to have a toned physique. Of course, only then are you going to easily get more work. But if you are a bit on the healthier side or you're a bit bigger, then it will be more difficult for you to get work. So, you know, there is that underlying kind of a thing, but it's not something that is forced upon anybody. It's not something that is a requirement, because there are all kinds of, you know, girls who are working, and some of them are, they are big and bulky, but they're still modeling, and but then they are not in the mainstream modeling.
And so do you think that's a healthy thing for the industry or not, to have this kind of variety?
No, I don't think it's healthy, because it really, I mean, I think it kind of opens up too many avenues for all kinds of people, even if they're not worth it, to continue working. And like I said, then they don't earn any name for themselves. Then those are the kinds of people who are doing God knows what kind of shoots, and God knows who's working with them, because the more known ones will not work with you, because you know, you're not under a certain, or you don't fit a certain category. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that I personally feel that the most important thing for modeling is height, and it's a good toned physique. Not necessarily a size requirement. You know, nobody is going to actually sit and measure you. Okay, are you a size 0? Are you a size 2 or 4 or 8 or whatever? Nobody
it's just kind of the
that.
overall, like, first
overall
look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Humayun, because I'm sorry to bring this in, but you were backstage with at the fashion show.
Yes.
What kind of, because Islamabad, Karachi and Lahore, they're very different. So what did you feel was the vibe in Islamabad in regards to the models and in regards to the show?
I have attended like a couple of fashion shows before, and I guess you were there in Serena too, right? The Serena fashion show, and it was like 2 years back. So the crowd, if
Yes, that's where I interviewed Nadia for the first time.
Acha. So if we compare about the crowd, I'm sorry to say that, even though I'm Islamabad based, but the crowd in Islamabad,
Don't be mean, don't be rude.
a little dead.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
we are not as much enthusiastic as Lahore and Karachi people are, because they're used to of it, right? They are getting fashion shows like almost every month. Like a single fashion show is there. All right. So the point is, in Islamabad, at the backstage, if we're talking about backstage, there were very few models which I was inspired, and I wanted to look at them, and they were like tall, as she said. They were tall, they were skinny. So that's what you want to see, right? You don't want to see a bulky, short-heighted woman wearing a dress, and you don't want to buy that particular dress because she is not looking pretty in that one. So that's
It's just about the whole, like, culture and the kind of education of the crowd here. Like,
yes,
they're not used to it. So what do you feel about the difference within the cities, about the models and the fashion shows? Why are we not all on the same level yet?
Well, because I think as an industry, there are people working in Islamabad.
Of course,
definitely,
yes.
there are. But the kind of exposure that you get in Islamabad, because it really depends on the city vibe. For example, because Karachi has like a lot more malls, it has a lot more shop
and population
openings.
also, no?
Yeah, well, the population is also bigger.
Yes.
Also that the designers are more over there, then the photographers are more over there, the channels are all over there, mostly mostly the bigger channels, all their offices and all their studios are there. So if not modeling, and then if you talk about drama, the production houses are all working mostly in Karachi, so the work is actually in Karachi. So the talent also comes, you can dig for more talent, not necessarily that that the talent has to come from Karachi, but if there are people from Islamabad, they'll end up moving to Karachi because there isn't that much work happening in Islamabad.
That's true.
Because when I was searching, a lot of creative agencies, and they're all in Lahore or in Karachi. They're actually in Karachi, in Islamabad. Unfortunately, I was so shattered to know that there is no creative agency in Islamabad.
I think
renowned.
I think at the same level of
Yes,
Karachi and
there
Lahore.
is no industry for Islamabadis.
There is. Well, we've been working on it for the last 2.5 years, Humayun. Watch my show and you'll see. Do your research. No. There are some, but you're right. There are smaller. We do have Raz, who's doing great, for the events in Islamabad. Okay, so now going forward, because we are running really short of time and I've got so many questions. We've talked about the industry, the designers and all that stuff. You have your salon as well, and that's in Lahore?
In Karachi.
Karachi,
Yeah.
sorry, I knew that. But are you looking to expand? Are you looking to go to the other cities now? And
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's,
Islamabad, Brampton. I don't care about Lahore that much. No, but
I think that as far as Islamabad is concerned, only if I know that there is a good market that's willing to come to the salon. And
what is your definition of a good market? Lots of ladies.
yeah, well, lots of ladies who are conscious of what they look like and also who are, well, I mean, these kind of services do require some amount of spending of money. So if they want to get their hair done or they are conscious about their skin, where they want to get facials done or things like that, it will cost them a certain budget, you know. So that I mean, like, so yeah, there has to be the kind of a market which is also willing to spend.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of thing.
Excellent. Okay, because we are really short of time, and I do have a couple of questions left, and I think they're really important because we've seen you on TV, we've seen your media personality, but when you're home, when you've finally wrapped up your shoot, when you go home, what is home life like for you? Are you the boss at home as well, or do you just go and relax, or do you just
No,
come
I'm
mother
very much
mode?
the boss at home.
Yes, okay.
Because with my kids, I mean, it's like for my husband, there is no way that he is going to. I mean, like he cannot really handle the kids the way I can handle them, especially as far as their studies are concerned or as far as discipline is concerned. So when I see something going wrong or something that I want it done a certain way, then I am definitely much more stricter than him. So at home, I'm quite. Of course, I'm not saying that I'm always up there, like on their heads that they have to do this and do that, but I maintain that kind of a disciplinarian relationship with them, where there is also fun, but we also go out and we also do this, that, but more of a disciplinarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you? You are in that kind of transitional stage of getting, throwing yourself completely into media. How do you balancing that life? Because as Nadia's really highlighted that a lot of time, long hours, family gets, sidelined and neglected a teeny tiny. I mean, my family has a little bit. But, so how do you balance it, and how are you balancing it?
Actually, it is quite difficult for me because my family belongs to army, and it's very difficult
wow.
for me. Yes, it's very difficult for me to come into this industry because this requires a lot of time traveling. And a lot of time. Actually, I have just placed little lot, so a lot of time. And how am I balancing? I guess it's very difficult for me because as I'm the only son, I told you, so I have a lot of other responsibilities. But she'll be telling you, if you have passion, then you know how to manage it.
Exactly.
I'm
and
really
which you're
passionate
doing
about
it. And we are going to get you back on the show to discuss your career more. But I want to ask the final question to Nadia. You've had a really interesting career, mashallah, it's been very successful, and it's still, rising, your star is still rising. But is there anything specific, like one thing that stands out for you that has made you, when you go home and you go to bed, you're like, yeah, I've done, I'm satisfied today, I'm content?
Well, I think that the fact that I've actually been able to start my own business, on my own actually, with myself and my husband, there is nobody else involved. So I think that I feel really proud about because, I've been modeling for the past 16, 17 years now, and I'm just like quite over and done with it. Even though, I mean, people don't let me quit because they keep saying, no, just do this one, okay, fine, do this one. Okay. So I'm not really, I mean, I feel, okay, fine, I just need to quit now, enough is enough. But that doesn't really happen, so.
That's amazing, that's good though, surely.
Yeah, but the fact that I've been able to start my business, I think I feel really, definitely I feel very proud about that, because I feel that, I mean, after such a long spanning modeling career and not having to do dentistry, even though I'm now also doing aesthetics, like I do cosmetology within my salon as well, but I knew that I would never get back to dentistry. So I I definitely needed to do something else. Like there needed to be a plan B. So the plan B was to basically start the salon and have the dental within the salon, and to have the aesthetics part of it, the cosmetology part of it within the salon as well.
Great.
And that's what I did manage.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And thank you, Humayun. And I'm sorry we couldn't ask you the questions, but we're going to get you back.
I had my popcorns ready. That's what I'm telling you. I love her. I love her conversation too.
Thank you so much, and best of luck. And I hope you do manage to get to Islamabad with your salon as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I had a wonderful time having a conversation with Nadia Hussain, who is an incredible human being and a superstar within Pakistan, and then Humayun Zaib, who was really sweet and really accepting of the fact that I couldn't ask him too many questions. But I hope you enjoyed the show. Today, you know, it's all about just being strong and getting out there and following your passions despite anything else, as long as you're not hurting anyone. So with that, do log on to our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of Well This Morning, our Twitter page, Well This Morning without a G, our YouTube page, Well This Morning, our Daily Motion page, Well This Morning. The repeat is at 5 past midnight. Have a wonderful day. I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Bye-bye.